Enjoyed watching that.
Real warrior, that middleweight division. Finally, we've tracked, we think, the elusive other one down. Matthew Macklin, hopefully on the phone. You were meant to be here in studio. You're in Marbella. Explain.
Yeah, I had a few things on out here, a few business things that I had to sort out. So unfortunately, I couldn't make it. Disappointing, but you know, it had to be done.
Matthew, you've lost me a bit. I didn't think you'd be here, but just tell me what's next for you.
Well, I had a nose operation before Christmas, so was just getting over that over the Christmas and New Year, and back in training now. And we're speaking with Brian and Lou the other night, and we're looking for a big fight in May. Hoping it could be made against Daniel Geale for Madison Square Garden sometime in May. Just depending now on what his mandatory obligations are.
We've got Martin Murray and Darren Barker here in the studio.
Your friends.
What are the realistic chances of you three getting into this mix? Well,
I think there'll be great fights. You know, if they were made. Also, after Andy Lee into that mix as well, a huge fight as well. But at the moment I have big momentum in America. My last 3 fights are televised there. The Stern fight was on Epix. Dan Rafael, Lennox Lewis had me winning the fight by 7 rounds. On the back of that, the Martinez came up. Madison Square Garden was sold out. It was a great fight. It was one of the best fights on HBO of 2012. A good fight, but unfortunately on the night it wasn't good enough. But the Alcine fight, knocking former world champion Alcine in a round on the Chavez Martinez undercard was a huge, and it's thrown me straight back in the mix. I was offered the Golovkin fight for January, but because of the operation, there was no way that I could, that I would have been ready for it. So, unfortunately, I had to turn that down. But right back in there, HBO said in the preview of the Golovkin fight that they're assessing the middleweight division, and they said that outside of the champions, that Matthew Macklin is the leading middleweight contender. So, it's going to be, I think in May it'll be a world title shot against, if it's not Geale, against one of the other champions.
That's what I was just about to ask you. Good one over Alcine. You're really in that international mix at the moment. Do you believe that you're a slight step above Martin and Darren?
Yeah, I think so. I think both guys are good fighters and they've proven themselves. But I think I've boxed, at a higher level for a lot longer, more consistently. You just look at my record. Fights there with Jamie Moore, Wayne Alcock, Aman Asakainen, Uruguay Campus, Alcine, even Gerhard Ajatovic. No one wanted to fight him back in 2008, and he'd lost his last 2 coming in. But they're against Pirog in Russia and Geale in Australia. But I took the fight at short notice, and I think when you look at the record, I've been more consistent. I've performed at a higher level for a lot longer. And, I'm probably, both guys have got their strengths and weaknesses, as have we all. But I think against Sturm, I showed one style of fighting, high tempo, aggressive, body shots, uppercuts, hooks. Whereas I think against Martinez, I showed on the side to me, I showed I am very versatile and I'm, a fairly complete fighter. I showed that I could box, feint, pick my punches, and I pushed him very close. Probably gave him his, definitely gave him his toughest fight since he won the title off Kelly Pavlik.
There was a big debate in the office today talking about who was number 1, 2 and 3 between you all, and one of the arguments was Darren Barker's fight against Martinez, how he dealt with him, how he boxed him and how you boxed him. And looking at levels, Darren, would you agree with what he said? Would you say he was the best of the three of you? How would you look at it?
No, certainly not. I think the beauty of the division is we all think we're number 1. That's what makes it so interesting. I wouldn't know. But, at the end of the day, when I fought Martinez, no one wanted to know. No one even uttered his name. And, I put in the performance and everyone started jumping on the bandwagon then. Matthew wanted to go and fight him. Everyone wanted to fight him then, but no one even uttered his name before then. But,
do you think you did better in this fight against Martinez than Matthew did in his?
Two different styles against Martinez, and you can't say we've done better because at the end of the day we both lost.
Yeah.
But all I would say is, to
went
you,
to plan
Matthew,
for a number of rounds.
There's 2 big fights here over in England, so don't forget where you come from. At the end of the day, there's 2 big fights here that would generate just as much money and still have as much publicity as they will out in the States. So don't forget us.
The thing is as well, he's saying he's got these fights in America. Are they bigger in America where he's fighting than fighting us over here? You know what I mean? Obviously, I've got Martinez to concentrate on, you know what I mean? But I'm just thinking of the future. There's some great fights out there for us.
You were shaking your head a little bit, Martin, when Matthew was talking about his position amongst the three of you?
Well, he's obviously going to say that he's in front of us, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Macklin's one of them type of people where he's going on about how we fought Martinez and, you know, fought Stern. At the end of the day, he got beat.
What do you make of this performance?
I thought that Macklin was just completely out of his depth. Martinez said in the press conference whilst I was over there that Macklin was his easiest fight.
Matthew, we're just showing the Martinez fight. Martin, you've heard his words. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, just regardless of what he said, he wasn't saying that after the fight. He was saying he was fight acting to win the title in the post-fight press conference. And then you have to look at his other fights. He knocked out Paul Williams in 3 rounds. You can't call that a tough fight. You know, Sergey's in Zurich. He never dropped the round and stopped him in 8. You know, going into the 11th round on the scorecard, 3 scorecards, he was only a round up on 2, and he was 3 rounds down on the other. So, you know, I think Martin's kidding himself a little bit.
I'm not kidding myself. At the end of the day, you got beat. It's all right saying you was up, you was in front on the judges or whatever. You got beat. Do you know what I mean? And as soon as Martinez steps it up, you was out your depth.
Well, I got retired at the end of the 12th. I wanted to come out for the 12th, but Buddy, you know, he was the trainer. He stopped it. But the bottom line was, to say it was his easiest fight when he knocked Paul Williams out in 3 rounds and just in 8 and never dropped the round, but a fight that he was around, only a round up on 2 of the cards and 3 down on the one, to try and say that was his easiest fight, you're kind of talking out your backside a little bit there, aren't you?
I'm only saying what he said. Don't shoot the messenger.
So you say.
Matthew, let's ask
It's on YouTube. Look at it.
Matthew, do you think that Martin has got a real chance against Martinez or not?
I mean, listen, Sergio's the best middleweight in the world. He's proven himself. You know, he looked brilliant against Chavez. He broke his hand in the 4th round. Never dropped the round. Nearly got done in the end, though. It was a tough, absorbing fight for him. You'd have to say Sergio's a very big favourite. You know, he's a hell of a boxer. He's awkward. He's slick. He's hard to nail. And he's a big favourite. Now, that's not me being biased against anyone, but, you know, I think the whole boxing world would make Sergio a very big favourite. But, and this is boxing. You never know. And Sergio just could be, you know, he could just get old overnight, and you know, maybe Martin's getting him at the right time.
Absolutely, guys. You know, win or lose in that fight, Martin. You 3 have got to get it together, haven't you? Any combination, Matthew?
Yeah, I think there's great fights there. Like I said, at the moment, I've big momentum in America, and you know, I am sold to Lou DiBella, who is an American promoter. I am in a promotional contract, and he's looking to, you know, make good use of the momentum and the platform that I've built up. You know, like I said, the Martinez fight, the Madison Square Garden was sold out. I had a great win against Alcine on the undercard of Martinez and Chavez. HBO think I'm the leading contender. They're going to, you know, the world title. I'm in boxing to become world champion. I've won the British title, won the Irish title, won the European title twice. The only thing I haven't won is the world title. So that's what I'm chasing. You know, I've been involved in big domestic fights. Jamie Moore, Wayne Alcock, you know, so, you know, if it didn't happen, it'd be a shame, but it wouldn't be the end of the world to me.
Have you got a quick message, Darren, for Matthew?
But I do, you know, the title is what I'm chasing.
Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I've got, you know, not to bad mouth anyone, but, you know, with your pursuits over in America, I think you're slightly robbing the British fans of big fights. I mean, me and Martin have agreed to take the fight, so I just hope one day that we will all share the ring together.
So what's it going to take to get this guy in the ring with you?
Don't forget, Darren, I signed to fight you.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know you were injured, but the bottom line is I did sign for that fight, and I trained for it, and I turned up. You didn't, nothing why you didn't. You were injured, you couldn't have performed there.
Guys, we're going to have to leave it there. We could debate this for hours. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you very much as well to Martin.
Good luck, lads.
And to Darren. Yeah, good luck to you, Martin, and to you, Darren, on March the 9th. We're off to Belfast this weekend, but you're not.
Yeah, I'm setting off to New York to find out where Gavin Rees has been training in the Bronx. My reports on Rees and a very special Adrian Broner is coming next Thursday.